Punk is still looking like a snack out here, showing the world that it can take down the last of the last. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. Alright, the Extravaganza Breakdown, the final event that actually matters before Sprite enters into the format here and goes, "Hi guys, I'm here." So the highest represented deck in terms of this top cut was none other than Sword Soul. Yay! Who would have guessed? It's almost like the deck just won Nationals or something. It's almost like it's been a consistent deck all format. Wow! We had one well, to be honest with you, like the rest of this top cut's pretty diverse. With the one Despia list showing its head, I'm fine with that, honestly. Nothing really too strange out of left field here. We had one Punk list, which ended up winning the event, which was Pack. And I'm actually very happy to see, because Pack just bubbled out of, what was it, Nationals, unfortunately. So to see that they could run back the main event here for the Extravaganza to lock down something, kudos to Pack for pulling that off. We also had a Dragon Link. Now, a little side note here for Dragon Link post format, supposedly. I've been hearing rumors here that maybe Dragon Link will be keeping up again. You know, every time I hear this rumor, there usually ends up being some validity to it, because we talked about pre-nationals, we were like, oh my god, like, you know, Dragon Link might be a big hidden competitor. It did its thing. The rest of the top cut here, we had one ABC list, which it was the Thurion list. I don't have the list for that, unfortunately. We also had Sky Strikers, which was Ryan Yu. And, of course, we had a Drytron list as well for top cut here. So, overall, your top 8, very, very diverse in terms of things. And actually pretty jam-packed here between a lot of names that you might recognize, like Pack, Ryan Yu. And we're going to pass on over to those deck lists now, shall we? Alright, winning the event was none other than Pack, locking down first place with pure Punk, with the little spicy tech of Shinobi Necro here. But another zombie monster, special summon from your graveyard. While you control this monster, you can draw a card and then discard one. Zombie? This revives. Zombie? It's actually a very cute little interaction here. If this card in the graveyard is banished face up to activate an effect or buy an effect, you can special summon this card. So it's another extender onto the field. Having this in the deck as a one-of, acting as an additional tuner, actually kind of cute. I'm going to give Pack a lot of, like, interesting credit for the inclusion of this card into the strategy here. And I also see, yes, we're playing double Gizmek Orochi here. I mean, it deploys a level 8 onto the field to, you know, expedite the process of making Psychic and Punisher, depending on which tuners and stuff you have up, you know, expediting a Chang Ying. You can tell that there's a lot of power built into this deck in terms of, like, the consistency from the Punk engine to capitalize through the larger synchro plays. And then, of course, you know, just the little combo extension pieces like a Shinobi Necro here to basically expedite the process. And as we head forward here, you know, when we get the rest of the Punk stuff, I do think you will see this deck undergo another evolution into the game, because honestly, once you get that spell card that lets you draw 2 cards, you know, depending on how this deck stands up via on the ban list, I don't think they're gonna, you wouldn't think they would go too crazy, right? Going after this package, we'll have to wait and see, but you never really know how things are going to go in terms of that. But outside of that, I'm very happy to see, at least on the last run here, that Punk ended up locking down a win. Is it a win that players will remember? Probably not, but a W is still a W nonetheless here. Next up here is Drytron. This was Aaron Pastrana's top list. Now, for those of you that might not know this, Aaron's been a very consistent competitor that we have seen throughout a majority of the online circuit here, proving to us time and time again that, you know, even though a lot of people might look at these online remote events and be like, you know, these might not be as prestigious, it doesn't matter. They're more competitive stuff and things like that to see. So it's nice to see the consistent names doing well and being able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! From your house. actually is a very nice thing here. So, Drytron, how much impact changes with the future of this deck? To be honest with you, I don't think a lot really moves at all. I do see that we have the consistency of the Mystic Minds. You love to see this card, man. Alright, also, you can definitely tell that a lot of this deck is definitely shifted down. You know, the 1 Herald of Orange Light. We're still doing the Ben 10s, the 1 E to 10. We're not getting spicy with some of the other crazier techs that we have seen quite some time ago. I know, like, you try, like, the Amorph Factor Pain stuff. It ends up not being, like, the most consistent thing. So in terms of, like, Drytron numbers, I like this. I also see down here that, of course, you have the Magic Key and the Magic Key unlocking. So basically, if you want to side into a nice little negate here that you can have access to, it's worth considering within the scope of things for the package. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when you can have access to power cards like this, just at the snap of your fingers via post-boarding, yeah, it's really nice. I mean, between, you know, the pure Punk deck and this being, like, the most exciting things out of this extravaganza, I mean, once again, I don't think the format was in such a rough place, but thank you for Power Creep. So yes, this is your other top 8 list here. Next up here is Ryan Yu's Sky Striker list. Now, not a single darn card has changed in this, according to Ryan. Ryan was like, yeah, I was too lazy to change cards, which, you know what? If you already came off of a successful weekend, you don't have much of a reason to change things. You know, still shout out here to Offerings of the Doomed. A lot of people have been taking note of Offerings of the Doomed in terms of rogue decks, and it's really kind of starting to showcase, like, the good power of what you can do overall with this. I mean, obviously, this card is good as well, but, you know, Modern Sky Striker, the toolbox options that you see with this, I think this deck is one of the coolest decks right now in the room, because it's really just a big, giant rogue buster that just really catches players off guard, and they have a hard time adjusting to really what to do against this. So, once again, kudos for locking down another finish with this deck. Next up here is our Dragon Link Adventure deck. Oh boy, 48 cards, by the way. Remember, your whole game plan for this deck is you want to facilitate the power of the Rite of Armesia package. You want to step through, punish the opponent really as much as possible, and that's what you get with this package, alright? You want consistent results in order to do your thing, and I mean, our Dragon Link deck has done just that in terms of being a consistent metagame piece, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, when you look at Dragon Link, you know, I have a feeling that this is the next piece to go. We'll have to see how Dragon Link can further evolve without the use of that. But to be honest with you, I do think that this deck will go through one more stage of evolution here. So many people always talk this deck up as like the Rogue Buster here. And I do agree, it is a very, very strong deck per se. So, one more finish on the belt for this deck. Next up was Sword Soul. Oh boy. Will they hit this deck on the list? I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but what really has changed in terms of this deck? Well, we're on the Triple Heavenly Dragon cycle. This build chose to play no Vassals. Remember, every Dragon Link list that we've looked at, it's always like the huge argument between, do I want to play this or, you know, Vassal. I also see down here the Rivalry of the Warlords was in the side. Remember, just coming off of Nationals literally a week ago here, you saw the difference in power scaling between Rivalry and, you know, main deck and side deck. While a card is absolutely amazing in the main deck, if certain players can't dedicate, you know, resources or a reasoning to want to play this in the main, it really just comes down to deck building at the end of the day. So that's Yu-Gi-Oh! In a nutshell, man. Like, do I want to main deck my power card? Can I allocate the resources to this? It really just comes down to what you feel most comfortable with. And then the last Sword Soul list here is... wow, we just detoured everything I just said. Yeah, so this build opted to play the Rivalry of the Warlords here. We're on Triple Heavenly Dragon cycle with the double Vassal here. So, once again, you can still see, even sifting through the differences in formats here, that you have those differences in deck building. Like I said, all format here for Sword Soul, you know, especially when you go forward here. Your tech slots and the things that you want to decide on, it's really up to you, but those results are going to be honestly just the fruit of your labor. Whatever ends up testing best for you will end up being your best results. So rivalry in the main, rivalry in the side, it's up to you at the end of the day. So that is your Extravaganza breakdown out of this weekend. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.